everybody, and welcome. I am so happy that all of you were able to make it today because our lives are just busy, and taking the time out for yourself is not something that we typically do. So I'm happy that you're here. We have a wonderful event planned for you over these 2 days. To get us started, there's a couple of things that I want to inform you of. One is I want to talk to you about how to ask questions, and give you an overview of what's going to happen. The other thing is I want to make sure that you're all set and you're prepared for the retreat. For most of you, you would have received a package from me that included sage, a crystal, a water bottle, and and just what you need, a candle actually, what you need to go through the opening ceremony. The reason that I like to do opening ceremonies is because I like to set the stage. I like to set the intention for all of us. And this is something that I invite you actually to participate in. The first thing is to relax. You're going to have a wonderful time. And, there's going to be time to ask questions and, just relax and enjoy yourselves. So, first thing, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in and feel yourself let it out. Take another deep breath in and feel yourself let it out. Now, to set intention, I'm sure you're here for a specific reason, or maybe for several reasons. I want you to close your eyes and send up a prayer or send out a prayer to whomever you pray to, asking for whatever it is you would like for yourself for this particular retreat. I'm just going to give you about 60 seconds to go ahead and do that. It can be anything that you want. Just close your eyes and send out a prayer to whomever you pray to, asking for whatever it is you wish to receive from this retreat. Okay. Now, I will go ahead and also say a prayer of opening. It's a Buddhist prayer. It's a Buddhist invocation that I learned years ago. And you can just listen to it, or you can feel the words going into you. Through the power and truth of this retreat, may all sentient beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may they all dwell in the great equanimity that is free from attachment and aversion. Okay. If you have sage, or if you want to use sage, go ahead and light it. Or if you have, you don't want to light sage or anything if you have a smoke detector in your vicinity, because that's going to set off the smoke detector. If you don't want to light sage, you're welcome to sit and envision light going through your body, coming in from the universe into you, cleansing your auric field. I'll walk you through this, of course, so you don't have to, you don't have to worry about what to do. If you have a sage bundle and you want to light it, you want to go ahead and light it and let it start smoking. I'm not able to light mine because I'm in a room with a smoke detector. And the last thing I want is the fire department showing up. So, but if you have this, go ahead and light it. And you want to have the sage, you want to start saging yourself from your feet. Start at your feet, start on the left side and go back and forth, coming up the body until you get to the top of your head. And then you circle around your head 3 times and you do the same thing on the back. So you start at the back of your leg, your foot, and you go back and forth up through the body and circle 3 times. The reason that we do this is to clean and clear the auric field because we have a lot of energy, a lot of stuff that gets stored in the energetic field, and you want to release that. As I said, if you do not light the sage, as I'm not going to be able to light it, um, envision white light that is coming up from the ground, from Mother Earth. Envision that light coming up through your legs, up through your feet, up through your legs, your knees, your thighs, and feel it coming up all the way up through the top of your head. And feel it encircle your being. Good. Now, if you have a candle there, go ahead. You want to go ahead and light the candle. And, candles are, we use candles for various reasons. We use them for light, we use them for warmth. And in this case, we're lighting, this is a beacon. This is a beacon to the divine, to the universe, letting them know that we are in session. So go ahead and if I can light my candle, if I strike the match. My candle is lit. I don't know if you can see that there. This is also fire. You have the sage for earth. You have the candle for fire. You have a water bottle for water. And you also have a crystal. Now, with the crystal, you can program this crystal for healing. I'm going to walk you through programming it now so that this is your crystal and you can wear it. You can, I mean, sometimes I stick it in my bra, but you can put it in your pocket. You can, but put it on your being. And crystals have energy and they are conscious just as we are. They're just vibrating at a different rate. To program your crystal, you want to close your eyes and say what you wish this crystal to be imbued with, the energy. So for me, I would say, I am programming you for light, for love, to keep my heart open and for nourishment. And you hold it to your heart. I know you can't see my heart there, but you hold it to your heart as you're saying this. And once you have said the silent prayer, you actually blow with your breath on the crystal. The crystal is then programmed. So go ahead and do that with the crystal. Just put the crystal to your heart and say what it is you wish the energy you wish that crystal to be imbued with. And once you've done that, blow on the crystal. Cup it in your hands and put your breath on it. And then the crystal is programmed. And you can hold it, you can put it in your pocket, as I said, but the crystal is there for you and it will help you. It'll give you energy. All right. Now, I need to put my glasses on because I want to talk to you about the program today. And I want to make sure, let me pull this up real quick. So we have 3 talks that are happening today. And after each talk, well, after 2 of the talks, there will be a Q&A. After the first talk, one of our presenters needs to leave to actually go to another event. So Kesley Tweed is going to, when she finishes, she will take off for another event. She will be here tomorrow for the session that we have at the last hour. We're having a panel discussion, and so she can answer your questions there. She also will be able to answer questions, I believe, on Instagram. She'll send you that you'll have that information so that you can ask her questions there too. If you have technical issues, you'll need to contact our tech person, Nathan Miller. And Nathan just put his phone number in the chat so that you have that. If you have questions, of course, for the presenters while they're giving their talk, you want to hold off on asking, but you can certainly put the question in the chat if you don't feel comfortable actually unmuting yourself and asking a question. But it would be good if you could unmute yourself and ask your question. But if you put it in the chat, I'll see it. And either I will ask the presenter the question at the end of their talk, or Nathan will say what the question is. One of us will actually see it. So now, are you ready? I hope so. Let me just, yes. So you have, and remember that there are going to be a replay. There will be a replay available for this event, and you're going to get a link to the replay within about a week of the event taking place, after the event is over. So let's go ahead and get started with our first presenter. Our first presenter is Kesley Tweed. Hi, Kesley.
So amazing to be here. That was a fire start to the retreat. So thank you for that.
Oh, you are welcome. So it is my absolute pleasure and honor to introduce you to Kesley Tweed. Kesley is the brilliant author of The Ascended Life. She wears many hats, as most of us do. She's an astrologer, Reiki master, group certified strength coach. She's a life coach, and she's also an NLP practitioner. She has, oh my goodness, she has transformed countless lives with her innovative approach to spiritual healing. And she is just an all around wonderful, wonderful good person. I love having Kesley here on the event. Kesley, do you want to introduce your talk and go
Yeah.
ahead and take the floor?
Thank you so much, Marie. This is just an honor. I'm so happy, excited to be here. I want you all to take a moment and like truly celebrate yourselves, whether you're here in person or you're watching the replay. The fact that you're here is a powerful moment in time because you're taking the time to heal, to grow, to what we're going to be talking about together, rise into radiance. And I want you to feel the power of those words. Rise, no matter where you are, it's up from here into radiance. And to me, that word radiance is about shining your divine light. I believe each and every one of us is divinity, is spirit, is God. I know that's a big word, but God in a human body. And today, my goal is to help you activate, whether it's a spark or it's lighting the biggest fire you've ever felt in yourself. All of it's perfect, all of it's divine. And this is truly about just letting that light shine a little bit brighter. So we're going to get right into it. I do have a lot to share with you today in terms of we're going to get into all the modalities that Marie talked about that have been part of my journey. We're going to pull upon all of that today. So let's do it. Let's rise into radiance. One thing I do want to encourage you all to have is you probably have a journal, a pen. If you don't, your phone. I want you to have something to capture what you're feeling as we're going through this today. There may be certain words that I say, certain phrases that I say that activate something, that help you feel something within yourself that maybe you didn't feel before. I want you to capture those things, those moments in time, because that's what you can take with you in terms of the activation. So, specifically, my goals for us today, number one, self-awareness. And we're going to be pulling upon some astrology. And oftentimes, what I hear from people about astrology is that it's confirmation. It's like a permission slip from the universe saying, hey, be the person you were born to be. Like, hey, here it is. Here's your permission slip. The permission you've been waiting for. Like, that's what I want you to feel today. That freedom, that liberation, self appreciation. You are divine. I want you to find at least one more thing that you can appreciate about yourself today, and activation. My specialty is truly helping people integrate, not just taking in information, but making decisions and choices to actually live life differently after today. So let's do that. So, again, number one, how to get engaged, how to get this activation. Write down the words and phrases. Play with me. Go all in when we do the meditation at the end. And if you want to be entered in a drawing to win a free reading, take a picture, post a selfie, post something you learned on Instagram, tag me, Kesley Spirit Guide. There's a space there, but it's all one word, Kesley Spirit Guide. You take a picture, tag me, put an insight in your story or your Instagram post, whatever it is. I will enter you in a drawing to win a free reading. So keep that in mind as a little opportunity, but it's not just about the tagging, it's also about that integration once again, like you actually taking something from this, a memory from this. Okay. So Kesley Spirit Guide is my Instagram. And if you do have questions, feel free to reach out to me there as well. So just a little bit more about me. I know we went through kind of the bio, but in terms of sort of who I am on a deeper level, my story has been one of trying to find myself, like really reaching for so many external things. As a young girl, it was about like, okay, if I get straight A's, if I excel in basketball, I'll be noticed. Like that'll be my thing. Like I was reaching for that. And then I got a little older and it was reaching for, okay, I'm going to do fitness competitions. I'm going to be noticed for that. That's going to be my thing. I'm going to climb the corporate ladder. I'm going to be successful there. It was reaching for all of these external things and losing myself in the process. And what I finally realized that what I wanted as my deepest need was just to love myself, just to be who I really was and love myself for that. How many of you can relate to that? How many of you have ever felt that way? We seek all these external things, external validation, external success, and it's not fulfilling. And so at some point in my 30s, I went through a spiritual awakening and I quit my job in corporate America. I was on the fast track to like, just building, building, building. Many people who knew me thought that was the path for me. That was it for me. But I realized like this is not it. So I quit my job, sold all my belongings. I traveled to India and Thailand and Bali in search of me. I spent a lot of time alone and I picked up many of these modalities and these tools that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And so I pray that they will help you in the same ways that they have helped me. So that's my story. Now, let's rewrite your story because we all have an internal narrative about who we are, and that is what's creating the reality that we are living. So let's shift you today to, again, no matter where you are, if you feel like you're at rock bottom or you're in a pretty darn good place, let's shift to a higher trajectory, to a higher timeline today. And what if your biggest challenge, right? Because usually it's those challenges, it's those difficult things, it's those things that we feel that we need to heal from yet that are our greatest power. And so that's where we're actually going to start our journey today as we journey together. So I'm not going to have you set an intention again because I think Marie did such a powerful job of that, but I do want you to hold that intention in mind as we go through what I have to share with you today. And I want us all to, I know we kind of use the breath to kind of anchor ourselves. I want us to do that one more time. And I want to teach you something. Maybe you know about this, maybe you don't, but it's called a physiological sigh. And the physiological sigh helps us drop immediately with 1 to 3 cycles of it into our parasympathetic state, which is our rest and digest, which is the place where we want to be to like truly synthesize information. And this is the way that it looks. You can use this at any point in time if you want to quickly shift out of an anxious state into a relaxed state. It's 2 small inhales and then a long exhale. And anytime we take our exhale and we make it longer than the inhale, that's how we shift into that relaxed state. So do that with me real quickly like this. Just like that. And if you feel like you need to do one more, again, it's just the 2 quick inhales and the long exhale. Bam, you're right there. You're right where you need to be so that spirit can really speak to you today. And I also want to encourage you to be connected with your body because your body will speak to you. You may get goosebumps. You may feel energy start to shift. You may, just feel an energizing in your body. That's how you know that your soul or spirit is speaking to you. So we're going to start with a very powerful planet. There's 2 actual astrological signatures that we're going to work with today that really signify the shadow and the light. And I think we talk about rising, right? We can't rise without first leaning into that shadow, leaning into that healing. And then the light, we're going to talk about your sun. But no matter how much you know about astrology, I want you to clear your mind today. And I want us to just see this through a fresh lens and a fresh approach and allow something new to show itself to you today. So Pluto, when we think about the planet Pluto, right? I don't want to go too deep. You don't have to know the intricacies of astrology to allow the planets and the energy to speak to you. Everything is energy. So astrology is just one lens that we can look at healing and transformation through, right? So we're going to use this energy of Pluto to kind of set the stage for going deeper into who we are and where our power can be found. Okay, so Pluto is the signature, is the planet of metamorphosis. It is an area of life, an area of ourselves where we will be brought to our knees and we will be asked to rise, where we will feel like the phoenix rising from the ashes, where we will have a hardship and we will learn to release control and surrender. And through that process, become the strongest, most radiant version of ourselves. some of the gifts of this process, of this. We would even go so far as astrologers to call it a death and rebirth process, right? And I'm going to help you figure out where Pluto is for you in your birth chart so that you can understand where you're being asked to rebirth throughout your life. So, Pluto's gifts are resilience. Again, like going through something difficult and realizing nothing can take me down. I remember I went through, my Pluto is in the sign of Libra, and often for Pluto and Libra people, it shows up in the area of relationship. I went through a really messy divorce in my, actually, it was around my Saturn return. So, in my late 20s, almost 30. And I thought that was the end of my world. But you know what? I would not be the woman I am today had I not gone through that. That's what Pluto brings for us. It's about where pain becomes purpose. It's about where areas where we may have shame, that becomes our light and our power. It's about stepping into your authority on who you are and not needing that external approval. And it's about gaining that depth. I remember before I went through that experience with the divorce, it was like this, I just kind of had this real princess approach to life, right? And that deepened me. It gave me empathy. It gave me an ability to hold space. And I know that's my experience, but I know that there's an area of your life as well where you have gained that kind of resilience and that kind of power through a challenge that you have been through. So now we're going to talk about Pluto by generation. We're going to talk about where your Pluto may lie in your chart and what that says for you in terms of your gifts and your lessons. Okay. So Pluto in Leo. So I'm not sure if we have anybody on the line now, but maybe someone will watch this later, right? I'm going to go through all of these and I'm going to go through them pretty quickly. So when we get to yours, I want you to snap a picture so that you've got this for later. Because we've got to keep things moving so we can get to the activation. So Pluto and Leo, the gift is soul-led leadership. So this is where you learn, maybe the hard way, right? That it's not for the purpose of performance. It's for the purpose of radiating your own creativity, being in spirit, flowing with spirit, allowing yourself to lead, but not for the applause, but for yourself and for the beauty of creativity and the joy of creativity. So that's the gift and the lesson for Pluto and Libra people. Pluto in Virgo. So these people who were born between 57 and 72, ages 53 to 68, if you're on one of these cusps, you probably have a little bit of the one prior and the one after, right? But you may also want to look up your exact birth date to find the exact location. We don't have to know even exactly which one of these to work with the energy of Pluto and you, because I guarantee when you stop and think about it, we're going to do a little bit of journaling, you're going to be able to connect with that energy of death and rebirth and rising and power within yourself. So the gift of Pluto and Virgo, these people, once they've been through that transformation, they are healers. They're here to serve. They're here. Oftentimes when we think about Virgo energy, we think about, oh, these are people who are really good at the details. Yes, it's about details, but it's about refinement. It's about taking little by little and making things better and better, making other people better and better, making systems better and better. Virgo energy helps us all to remember how to be our best selves. The lesson for Pluto and Virgo people is trusting versus the perfectionist, right? Being who you are, being your sacred divinity, as opposed to trying to be perfect, because imperfect is oftentimes perfectly who we are meant to be, right? We're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to be real in who we really are. Pluto and Libra, I mentioned this one earlier. So this is for the year is 1972 to 1984. The gift of Pluto in Libra after you've been through the fire, right, is how to harmonize. How to bring people together, opposing views together. Man, in this world right now, we need the Pluto and Libra people to step up and bring people together, right? It's about healing, karma, and love. So oftentimes, right, if you have the signature stream, you may have been through some hard knocks when it comes to love, but you're healing that. You're learning about soul union, not just any old type of relationships, but soul union, soulmate type relationships. The lesson is choosing depth over image. Yes, that's a beautiful one. Most importantly, it's about learning to love yourself first. Self-love is a huge theme for people who have Pluto in Libra. Pluto in Scorpio, 1984 to 1995, the gift here, these people are like, they have learned about how to take the shadow, like how to take the hardships and transform and rise. And they have depth, and they're learning about trust, and they're learning about, yeah, there may have been some trauma, but they know how to transmute that, and they become healers, and they have like incredible instinct, like incredible intuition and instinct. Pluto in Sagittarius, 95 through 2005. These are the truth seekers. People who have this gift of this Pluto and Sagittarius gift, visionary. They're incredibly optimistic. They've been through some stuff, right? Like we all go through some stuff. That's what Pluto's about in our chart. We have to feel pain and rise from that. But they've learned discernment. They've learned about like not just speaking truth or not just talking the talk, but walking the talk, practicing what they preach. That's a big lesson for Pluto and Sagittarius, these beautiful visionary people. All right, so I don't think we have anyone younger than 20. If we do, I apologize. I didn't go younger. I couldn't cover all the generations. Okay, so now this is where we start the integration. Okay, I'm going to put up, well, I won't tell you. I want you each to pick a number between 1 and 5. So everybody write down on your paper a number between 1 and 5. This is what your soul, the next slide that I'm going to unveil, is going to be telling based on that number of what needs to be healed in you as it relates to your Pluto. So I want you to keep in mind what I shared about your particular Pluto, and then you're going to get a question. And feel free to take a picture of the slide if you want to come back to the other journal questions. But I'm going to give you about a minute, okay, a minute and a half, we'll say, to journal and just let it flow on that one question as it relates to what we've learned already today about your Pluto. So here we go. Here's the 5 questions. Only journal for now, and you can come back to this later on the number that you chose. All right, and just write down what comes up when you read this question based on what's been activated, based on what you've learned. Allow yourself to heal, to grow, to get new insights. I'll just pause for a minute, allow y'all to let that sink in. Okay, trust what's coming through. I'm going to give you about 10 more seconds. And remember, you can take a picture or a screenshot if you'd like and come back to this later. Okay, beautiful. All right, so now we've leaned into the power that can be found in our shadow. And now we're going to activate the light. We're going to be working with your sun, your divine radiance. So the sun in astrology is the core of you. It is the divinity of you. It is your I am, as it says here. So it's really about like when you're in the light of your sun, when you're aligned with that energy of your sun, you know you're divine. You know you're special. You know that you have something to bring to the world that is irreplaceable. And you have a place, and everyone has a place, and it is divine, and it is perfect, and it is sacred. Okay. So that's what we want to start to activate today. And when you're aligned with that energy of your sun, you are at your highest in terms of energy. So I always tell people if you're feeling kind of, you don't want to get out of bed in the morning, you're feeling lost, understand your sun sign and find your way back to alignment with that energy. So I'm going to be giving you some more kind of to stand on around that. So when you are aligned, you're going to feel alive. You're going to feel magnetic. You're going to feel like you are you, and you don't need anyone else to tell you who to be or where to go or what to do. You are in flow. Okay. So we're going to go through each of these. Now, you probably know something about your sun sign already. I want you to kind of just put that to side, put that to the side right for now, right? We're going to be really focusing on the spiritual gifts and what you are here to do. I truly believe that we are at a very special time in history, time on this planet, where we are all being asked to step into our spiritual gifts and activate them and use them. Okay. So we're going to go through each of these. Once again, we're going to keep it moving pretty quickly. So feel free to take a picture, but pay attention to the words, the phrases, the things that really resonate with you and write them down so that you have that for later. So we're going to start with Aries. Aries is the flame of divine courage. So these people, their spiritual gift, they are courageous when it comes to going first. They're not afraid of new beginnings. And they remind us all that it's safe to go, it's safe to do, it's safe to leap before you're ready, it's safe to trust the knowing within. That is Aries energy. It's like this initiation, this like, hey, let's do it. Let's create this. It's the pioneering. So it's about sacred action. Okay, Taurus, the keeper of sacred earth. Happy birthday. Happy Taurus season. If any of you are Taurans on this retreat today, the spiritual gift is about embodiment and divine beauty. When these Taurans are aligned, they are truly aware of the experience on heaven on earth. That we don't have to wait to go somewhere else to be in heaven. We can create it here. And they really are anchored into the devotion of building something tangible and seeing the beauty in that. So embodiment and divine beauty, and I would call it like building heaven on earth, experiencing heaven on earth, the keeper of the sacred earth. That is Taurus. Gemini, the messenger of divine light. I'm sure many of you have heard Gemini, the messenger, right? It's not just about, just sharing information. I think a lot of times we talk about, Gemini and its information, but it's about how your curiosity, the questions that you ask, the way that you see the world, it says here, the questions are as holy as the answers. It's beautiful how Geminis have this gift of bringing the ideas and the people, they're great connectors, bringing that together and how they're able to flow with life and play with life, and they're agile, and there's just this lightness about Gemini. That is a gift that you are bringing to the world, Gemini, the messenger of divine light. Cancer, the heart of sacred nurturing. So as Gemini is about the communication and the mind, Cancer is about the soul and the emotions. So I love this. You carry the medicine of the sacred mother. So you're able to hold people, you're able to nurture people, you're able to hold people's hands through their rebirths. To you, vulnerability is beautiful, it's strong, every emotion, right? I think going through life and feeling the whole spectrum of emotions, that is courage, that is beauty. And that is the gift of Cancer, not only feeling it, but also nurturing others through those emotional experiences that we have as humans. Leo, the sovereign light of divine expression of all the signs that can teach us something about being in the energy, being in our radiance and the energy of our sun. Leo is ruled by the sun. Those Leos, they know how to do it, right? They are about authenticity. They're about radiance. They're about creation. I love this. You are a living flame. Like that fire of divinity that's in all of us for a Leo that's aligned, like they're just living it. They're not waiting for permission. They're just like, hey, if it fulfills my soul, I don't care what others think. Like, I'm going to do it. That is the gift of Leo. It's that authenticity, it's that creation, it's that willing to be seen for who you are. That is Leo. Virgo, the priest or priestess of sacred service. So, a gift of Leo is healing and making everything around them, including others and themselves, better and better and better. So, they are amazing at discernment and truth, finding the truth. They're very humble. And I think what I love about the Virgos around me is I find them so inspiring in terms of like when they're aligned, they're on it. Like they're living sacred. They're living in a whole, like wholeness. Body, mind, spirit is in alignment and they're doing the little things that are required every day to live that way. So that is a gift of a Virgo. It is about service, but it's also service in terms of living in a whole, sacred, pure way. And I don't mean pure in terms of it, it's religiously pure or anything like that. It's being pure in terms of being aligned with who you really are with your soul. Libra, the weaver of sacred harmony. So the spiritual gift of Libra is they understand union. They understand balance. They understand how to take two things that seem different and bring them together in a way that is beautiful. You know how to come into oneness. Like you're not selfish. Like you understand and you want that union. You want that relationship. You want that coming together and balancing and taking things that are different and putting them together into the most amazing combination. So sacred union and divine balance. That is Libra. Scorpio, the alchemist of the soul. These people are amazing when it comes to helping others transforming themselves. Nothing is ugly to Scorpio. Nothing is too much. Nothing is too dirty, right? Like they're able to look at things and be like, there's truth in that. There's love in that. There's a light in that. Hey, let's look at that and let's rebirth it into something powerful and beautiful and intimate. The alchemist of the soul, that is Scorpio. Sagittarius, the torchbearer of divine truth. These people are about expansion and questing it. Life is an adventure, right? I love how Sagittarius like encourages everyone to go and seek the truth in the world and in themselves and be on this pursuit of wisdom for themselves, right? And this joy and this zest for life that Sagittarius brings. It is about expansion. It's about expanding our minds and expanding our spirits and asking the questions, but going on, being willing to take the quest that is required to find our own truth. That's Sagittarius. Capricorn, the builder of sacred legacy. These people are about mastery. They're about creating something that is beyond themselves, right? I think Capricorn success, right? But it's not success for the sake of success. I have a Capricorn moon. So yeah, for me, I felt like I needed this level of success, right? Externally, but it's really about integrity, building something that's worthwhile and will have longer lasting impacts than just your own momentary fulfillment. And it is about mastery of something. It's ruled by Saturn. Saturn requires us to master. So it's about mastering yourself and creating something from that place. Two more. Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius, so hopefully there's other Aquarians on today. These people are the gift of Aquarians, the visionary of the sacred future. They're about awakening and divine innovation. And I don't know about if any other Aquarians have ever felt this, but you feel like you're in a room and you speak up and everyone's looking at you like, what is she talking about? That is because you live ahead of your time. You hold the blueprint. You can see the future before the future is here. You have a gift for challenging the way things are and bringing it into evolution, bringing it into greater consciousness, bringing it into greater unity. If you are an Aquarius, you are being called to speak up now on this planet because it is the age of Aquarius. Pisces, the mystic of divine oneness. It's Pisces, the gift of Pisces is they have this memory, I feel, whether you're aware of it or maybe it's subconscious, of what it was like to be spirit before you came into a body, right? Like what it's like to be one with all. And there's this deep yearning for that oneness, that love, that coming together, the dissolving separation. And through that, you bring so much compassion and so much spirit and so much soul. It is really, truly a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay. So I hope that you were able to grasp something from that. All right. So now I want you to actually, we're going to skip the journaling for this second one. I'm actually going to go to the journaling. I want you to take a picture of this. And I want you to come back and I want you to journal this a little bit later. We're going to end with an activation today together. So I want you to just take a picture of this, but I want you to hold on to what you learned about yourself and your light and maybe others who are around you and their signs as well. Okay. So we'll come back to this, but I want to ask you this one question. It's question number 4. What permission slip? Remember how I said how astrology is like a permission slip from the universe? What permission slip do you need to write to yourself to celebrate or embody more of your true self? Where do you need to give yourself permission to shine brighter? Where have you been hiding? Where have you been dimming? Okay, and we're going to activate some of that now. So I invite everyone. So it's going to be short, but we're going to do a quick NLP strategy. We're going to anchor a new way of being. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to use that breath I taught you earlier. So the 2 quick inhales and the exhale. Okay. Very good. I want you to just slow down your breath, really sink into your body, and just breathe and be. I want you to ask yourself this question. Who do you need to give yourself permission to be? What is one new belief that if you adopted it today, a belief about who you are, it would change everything? And with that in mind, I want you to come up with one word or a short phrase to follow these 2 words. I am. I am. Those 2 words are the most powerful words in our language, in our English language. And what you put after them is what is creating your entire reality. So what is the I am, the new I am that you would need to adopt today? I am powerful. I am love. I am beautiful. What is that I am for you today? And I want you to just breathe that in. And I want you to now fast forward in time. What would life look like? What could you create? What could you experience if you, when you adopt this new I am, this new belief about yourself? I want you to imagine an experience that you could have with this as the new foundational belief about yourself. What would you feel with this new belief in this beautiful experience that you're creating in this very moment through the power of your mind? How would you speak? How would you stand? How would you move? See yourself as your higher self, your future self. And as you feel that in your body, I want you to squeeze your right fist for 3 seconds. Take a deep breath in and release. I want you to say it to yourself one more time. I am. Squeeze your fist one more time for 3 seconds and release. One more deep breath in. Feel that new energy, that new emotion in your body. Squeeze your fist for 3 seconds as you say, I am, and release. And slowly and gently open your eyes and come back with us into the present moment. You have now set an anchor for that new belief. Anytime you want to call upon that new belief about yourself, all you have to do is squeeze the fist and it's going to be right there. It's now set into your nervous system. So congratulations, a new you has been birthed today, a new, more radiant, even more radiant you. So congratulations on your rise into radiance. I look forward to being back with you tomorrow afternoon for the Q&A. And feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. Let's see here. Kesley Spirit Guide, all one word. And congratulations. It was great to connect. I've got to run to my next speaking engagement. It was an honor to be here. Thank you, Marie, and thank you all.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Kesley. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an
Enjoy
honor.
the rest of your day, okay? Now see
I
you
will.
tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Oh my goodness. That was so wonderful. We've got a few minutes. Are there any questions that have come up or feelings that you guys want to mention? Any comments or anything like that? Everybody's quiet. Okay. All right. We will go ahead then.
Marie,
And
I actually do have a question, Marie. Real quick,
okay.
Jill.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
What if you don't know how that looks for you? Like, what if you don't know what you're like, how that's supposed to look for you at all? You have no idea. That's my question.
I'm sorry, what are you saying, one of your astrological signs or?
Yeah, like when she was doing the envisioning of, how it feels when you're stepping into your power and, how you operate in the world. And that's what I was kind of curious about. I don't know if anybody else has problems with that, but.
Oh, because you're in the process of figuring that out. And so what you have to do is use your imagination. Now, that's a good question to also ask Kesley tomorrow during the panel discussion.
Yes, I will.
She can go deeper into that. But I do know that, it changes. I would think that how you envision yourself would change as you grow and develop. Okay, we are going to go ahead and move on to our next presenter. Let me just pull up. Hello there, Thea. Welcome to the stage. Thea is a vibrant life success coach who specializes in personal leadership and truly igniting passionate living. She guides individuals through a focused, intentional structure to create powerful transformations, starting right where we have the most influence, with our own physical and spiritual well-being. Thea firmly believes that passion is the catalyst for change, allowing us to fully embrace life with joy. With 40 years of experience as a hair designer, Thea has been making the world's most beautiful, one person at a time. And she brings that same care and creativity to her coaching. She celebrates passionate living through inspiring stories and is also a certified yoga, pranayama, pranayama and meditation instructor. She's even working on her headstands. So Thea believes that we start with what we can control, our physical, emotional, and spiritual selves, and then build a focused structure for intentional transformations. Whether our goals are big or small, passion is the guide. She'll help us bring the light and enjoyment of living fully. Get ready because she's even going to lead us in a quick 5-minute energy meditation to center us and help us make a pact with ourselves. So let's give Thea a warm welcome. Hello, Thea. You take the stage.
Hi, Marie. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey, everybody. Thea and I think it's Kai or Cal. Your face is front and center and the most beautiful smile. I just had to say that. So it's lovely to see you right next to Marie. Hi, everybody. I'm Thea Daniels, and I'm super excited. And Kesley certainly, wow, segued my step into this space with you all. So thank you. I went out to lunch earlier today and got the fortune cookie thing. And my fortune today, Marie, it was really cool. I put it with my sage, is share your happiness with others. And that is what motivates me. So let's get started. It's not quite 5 minutes, but it's a quick energy work to help you to be in touch with truly the energy that you have existing with you right now. And this is along the lines of pranayama. So take your hands. All right, Tony, I see you. Take your hands and rub them together. Create that fire and really get them together, and then feel the orb of energy between the palms of your hands. And you can play with it, squish it in tight. Can you feel that? Yes? It's not just something silly. Let's do it one more time. Get that energy going. It's not just winter time when you're cold. You're creating energy. And this is your energy and force field. It's as simple as that, to get in touch with the energy that's inside you, around you, and help you to feel connected. Do you ever feel like there's more to life than this? Do you ever feel not good enough? Like maybe your choices don't really matter. Where's that passion for life that I used to have? You know, I work with teenagers at my church, and boy, do they give me a lot of hope. They give me a lot of hope for the future. Everything is new, and what's going on politically in our world, they're still focused on how good they look and being popular in school and honestly what lights them up. And they're not worrying about everything going on around us. And we get to tap into that too. So where's that passion? It's right there. It's right there. So the process that I've created over the years, not quite 40 years, but I've been doing hair for almost 40 years and have had the opportunity to talk with a lot of people. I also, one of the things I like to let people know is I've also been sober through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous for, I just celebrated 39 years. Alcoholism runs in my family, and the 12-step program has given me a life worth living. And so all along the way, which, by the way, from Kesley, the sun in Libra, which is my sign, I connect very different things and create a sacred union and a divine oneness. So it can be something seemingly opposite, and I have a way of being able to connect them. So if you don't relate to being in recovery for alcohol, you might find that being a surfer and riding one with the wave connects. So, as Marie said, being able to do a headstand is my superpower. Last year at this time, I was wrapping up my yoga teacher training, and I couldn't do a headstand. And through consistent practice and intention, I started where I was leaning up against the wall. And then I leaned up against the couch. And now with pillows around me, I can do a headstand in the middle of the room. In fact, the pillows don't even need to be there that much. But in less than a year, that's something that I tangibly was able to make a commitment to and transform and change. And one of my girlfriends, we were out camping, and she said, "Wow, headstands are your superpower." So that's what this process is about. And the process is about making a pact with yourself. A pact is like a pinky promise. You're making a pact with yourself to commit to transforming something in your life. Whether it's feeling that lack of passion, whether you feel like you're struggling, or if you just want to feel something a little bit more. Like, for me, motherhood didn't come just because I wanted to be a mom. It came with a lot of practice. It came with not feeling like a good enough mom. And it came with the intention of finding ways to be the mom I want to be. And somehow or another, every time I dig into that well of love and possibility, even if it feels dried up, I come up with something that helps support me in being the mom I want to be. So that's what making a pact with yourself is all about. Who this is really for in a lot of ways is everybody. But if you struggle with chaos, thriving in chaos, yet struggle with the pathway of a program, that's something that I struggle with, thrive in chaos. If you struggle with asking for help from somebody else, you really need to remember in the moment to be gentle, loving, and kind with yourself. But that's who making a pact with yourself is. I'd like to go over real quick what a pact acronym is. And this is where you get to pull out your pen and paper and write down. This is hard copy because this is printed, but I had to write this out at some point. And you're going to write down the side of your page, APACT. Making a pact with yourself is becoming aware of your intentional transformation. What is it that you would like to experience in your life today? Whether it be waking up in the morning 10 minutes earlier to do a meditation. For me, I've been working on arriving places 10 minutes early, 98% of the time. Perhaps it's improving your language, getting rid of some of those cuss words. Sitting down for dinner and a meal for 10 minutes without doing anything else. And then, of course, it can cover everything from making choices on your career, relationship, family, how you want to live your life in retirement, vacations. Making a pact works with everything. So first you find out what your it is, your intentional transformation. And for this practice today, let's keep it real small and simple. We'll get into that in a second. Then we pause. There's the power of the pause. When we slow down and polish our proactive choices, that takes us out of habitual and reactionary responses. as well as when we slow down and pause and get in touch with what it is we value at this stage of our life. Our values change as we change, but get in touch with what's of value to you. Do you value kindness? Do you value compassion, service? Do you value drive and creating something? Right now, when you pause, you find the power of the pause and allow what's possible to happen. Then the next one is action. Actions are our superpower. They help you to create the objectives about what it is that you will do during this process. I also like to work with the SMART acronym: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. We'll talk about that later. Curiosity. Curiosity is where all the magic and sweet stuff is. Curiosity softens the judgments and negativities that we have about things in the world. When you look at children, they're not so judgmental of things. They're curious. Why is somebody in a wheelchair? Why does somebody have yellow teeth? And they might say something. We teach them how to interact in the world, but curiosity softens the judgment and takes us away from that dreaded I know syndrome. As we get older, we tend to think we need to know things. And say, for example, we're a professional hair designer. I don't know a heck of a lot about technology and math, forget it. And I talk with incredibly smart people that are doctors and nurses, and for them to be in touch with things like what Kesley was talking about, and even getting in touch with our inner selves, can be elusive. So you set aside what it is that you know and open up to possibilities of what you don't know. That's curiosity. And then trust. Trust is where the gift is. Trust in knowing yourself. Trust in believing that you will show up for yourself, and then trust in the world around you to show up for you. So it's also bypassing the intellect and letting go of the attachment of being right. And I said this to my 21-year-old son the other day, and I said, wouldn't you rather be happy than right? That's what stuck out for me one time, a long time ago. Wouldn't you rather be happy than right? Because I was stuck on being right and I needed to win the argument. No, it's about being happy. And my son, no, he struggles with math, but he's chosen a career and education that needs math. And he goes, I need to be right in studying so that I can get into the junior year of the college of his choice. And he goes, I need to be right. And it was so cool to talk with him because he brought up a different perspective of right or happy. I said, thank you for bringing that up, because I know other people are going to feel the need to be right. Yet when you slow down and look at what being right can be all about, it's about making you happy. And sometimes we need to dissect or allow where we're at in life and our values to step forward and celebrate them for where we're at. So we're aware of our it. We pause, get in touch with our values, slow down so that we are not habitually reacting. The actions. What are our actions that we will take to move forward? Through curiosity, which is where all the juice is, and then the gift is trust. That's what making a pact is all about. So you all have written on a piece of paper, a pact down the edge. Please write out A. The first A is aware, pause, action, curiosity, and trust. And for this 40 minutes or so practice, I really encourage you to think of something that's important to you that you would like to experience by the end of this 40 minutes. I know that's bold, Mark, but maybe by the end of tomorrow with Q&A, something that you would like to see transformed in your life. And the question I have for that is, what will make you feel happy and successful around your intentional transformation. You're it. So it could be something, like I said, of slowing down and setting a timer and eating for 10 minutes. Removing that unwanted language, maybe drinking 1 or 2 cups of coffee instead of the whole pot. Feeling spirited in your body again. Make sure you've got that at the top of the paper, something simple yet meaningful. Then we move on. You are aware of your it. Now we're going to move on to the power of the pause. Remember, to pause is where we discover what we value. Our value around our it helps us through the challenging times. It also helps us to know what's important about our transformation. And then making positive choices rather than habitual reactions during experiences, such as trying to get your point across with your 21-year-old son. So the question I want to ask you is, what do you value? And how is it influencing your choice for your it? Examples of values are honesty, integrity, responsibility, drive, kindness. Anybody else want to throw a value out there? Tony, what do you value?
I value honesty.
Awesome. Anybody else want to throw a value out that's important to them? If not, that's okay. Just make sure you write it down. Thank you, Tiffany. I see that truth. Now, Kelsey already did a really nice breathing exercise that I would like to add to the power of the pause. Because when we can slow down long enough for our values to kick in and to actually make a choice, that's huge, huge. And so I would like to offer you another example. It is a breathing exercise, an energy exercise. But Kelsey doing the 2 quick inhale and a long exhale, that's lovely. What we're going to do now is do a 5-step deep breath. The first 2 deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, will be just nice, normal. Feel it in your body. The second, the third, and the fourth, we're going to notice the pause between the inhale and the exhale. For 2 breaths is noticing the pause, because the pause is where the possibility is. And when you meditate, it's in the stillness and the silence. And this is a quick practice in meditation. And then the last one will be holding your pause for a second between the inhale and the exhale. So let's get started. And remember, 5 deep breaths. The first 2 breaths are going to be nice, deep, natural inhale and exhales. Let's go. Feel your body grounding while you exhale, and while you inhale, breathe in all that energy. And exhale, grounding yourself into the ground. Now with the next breath, after your inhale, notice that pause before you tip to the exhale. Notice the pause before you tip to the inhale. One more time. The pause. Now this time, hold your pause just for a couple of seconds after the exhale. Inhale. And go ahead and relax. And that's a very quick practice in meditation when you need to feel your superpower of being in charge of yourself. So today you've already been given 2 quick opportunities to gain control of your body, your spirit, your thoughts. And the secret is to remember to use them. The secret is to remember to use the whole packed system, but remembering to breathe. Because if you don't breathe, you're not living. That's our life force going through us. Now we're into action. Our actions are certainly our superpowers. Like I said, I can do a headstand now with lots of practice. Our actions help us to define our goals and our objectives as to how we will fulfill this it for our life, this intentional transformation. And our actions start with a choice. The powerful question I want to ask you for action: what are 2 things that you can do immediately that would make a difference towards your intentional transformation? And think about that for a second. I've got some hints for you, but I want you to come up with 2 things that you can immediately do right now while you're writing about it. And or to change your prices. Ooh, good job, Tiffany. I encourage you to write it out tonight before you come back tomorrow and see what happens for you in that. I know that one personally. So 2 things that you can immediately do right now that will make a difference towards living your life like your life depends on it. Okay. One of the secrets that I have is making a calendar of what it is that you succeed in and things that maybe don't feel like a success, but they were a forward movement towards achieving your goal. Because the things that feel not so successful, like perhaps you were thoroughly embarrassed by stepping up and speaking up, and that was horribly humiliating, but you discovered that you enjoyed actually speaking up. In today's world, to speak up for ourselves and for those around us is a powerful thing. But our senses that feel less than positive are actually forward movements if we've tried something new. So I would like you all to maybe make a photocopy of the next few months of a calendar, or have a hard copy calendar, or use your phone. But channel every single thing that you've done. I went to India this month, and I got back on the 11th, and I got to check off walking at the Taj Mahal. I wrote that down because I never thought I'd get to the Taj Mahal. I'm exploring making a book, writing a book. This is part of that exploration. It's down here. I started teaching my first regular yoga class last week. It's down here. And I made a big mistake on my plans for India as far as the airline trip coming back. World clocks and me don't jive so well. And I did not know I had a 20-hour layover in Istanbul. So rather than get mad, I brought in the people I was traveling with who know how to travel. It makes me look like I just go into my backyard. But people don't even buy return tickets. And what happened is I asked, do you guys have a 24-hour visa where I can take off and go out and explore your country? And so rather than sit and mope in the airport or pay fees for changing my airlines, I went and toured around Istanbul for 20 hours and got a little hotel. I'd been to Istanbul and got to see the blue mosque that what at first looked like, you ding dong, how could you mess up on that? And rather than beat up on myself, I've taken these experiences from the people around me, the world around me, and went and traveled in Istanbul. Check. Okay. And then finishing up your action. If you all are able to stand, or you know how when people go, you can do this snap. I'm in action. Or if you're standing, step forward into your action. That's setting a physical intention to be in action. And like Tiffany, you're going to raise your prices. Tonight, go and write them down. Put them on a computer screen and see them, and honor yourself in writing those, increasing those prices. And for me, I'm still working on being 10 minutes early 98% of the time. So it does work. All right, curiosity. This is where it gets really rich and special. Curiosity, like I said, softens the judgments and negativity that we have. Like I said, also knowing that syndrome of the I know and opening up to what's possible is where the magic is. Being able to go and tour Istanbul, getting onto the Taj Mahal, and many doing this particular. I know Marie from Toastmasters and TED Talks. I know Tony from the same. One day I'd love to be on stage doing a TED Talk, but it takes practice and experiences one step at a time. So being curious, saying yes, stepping out of your box and into your uncomfort zone is where curiosity gets really juicy. Children are a wonderful example. Dr. Seuss is another amazing example. And the question that I would like to ask for you around curiosity is, what is important to you around your intentional transformation? What's important to you about your it? I want you to be in integrity. Thank you, Tiffany. And as a symbolism, which I know because of Marie's amazing opening today, you may have something that can be a symbol to you about your intentional transformation. And symbolism is a beautiful reminder. I have right up here my candle to remind me, and I also give these away as gifts, that we are the light that's shining, and to be able to go out and share that light with the world. This is a huge symbolism. I didn't use a crystal, but I have this amazing stone that I keep in my pocket and I rub it with my thumb. But a symbol can also be a smell. You could have roses right outside your back door. It could be a pet. And another symbol is a door. The door opens to possibilities. One door closes, yet another door opens. So take a quick look around you right now and find something that is a symbol for making a pact with yourself and setting your intentional transformation and making it happen. And then lastly, trust. And if you didn't write that down near your paw, your curiosity part right there. Trust, as I said, is the gift. Doing hair. I get to experience a lot of stories from people. And I call myself a therapist. And I have a quick story that I'd like to share around one of my clients. And she's getting hard of hearing. And she was out at a family event. And when you start to become hard of hearing, it's very easy to isolate and not communicate and sit there and smile and shake your head. Yes, you're not hearing everything that's going on. So her son was in the center of the room, sitting in a chair. And she asked, can I please come sit in the center of the room more closely to you all because I want to participate? And the family got really angry with her and frustrated because they felt she wanted to be the center of attention. And, there was a few other things that went in around this. And so what happened is she totally detached herself from that situation. And she was sitting in my chair crying. And so we talked about it because it just was this thing that blew up in her face when all she wanted to do was connect with her family. And so we talked about it a little bit, and we acknowledged that getting older, you lose your hearing, and she didn't want to acknowledge that. And that she needs to educate her family that she's losing her hearing and is feeling more and more detached from her family. So her job is to talk with her children, maybe, and the grandchildren, and share that and trust herself that she was going to show up and actually speak up for herself, and trust that they weren't going to yell at her and get angry. So between that appointment and 6 weeks later, her next appointment, she had the opportunity to talk with her family, and she proved to herself, one, she had to accept, and she was aware that she was losing her hearing, and only she could really do something about it. And she got curious and got into action and talked with her family and explained to them that she detaches. And what happened as a result of it, she's gotten fabulous hearing aids, and the family has a level of compassion that they didn't have before. So that's just one of those powerful stories that learning to trust ourselves and the world around us to be supportive is a gift. And like I said, when I dig into the well, looking for that love for my children and how I'm parenting, I always came up with something. I practice gratitudes every day with people. And inevitably, I may have a repeat. Like I'm good health. It's on everyone. But I always find things that I'm grateful for, at least 5 a day. It's a great practice to practice gratitude. Pick that up with a friend of yours or two. That's not on my list, but I am it's amazing how I can come up with things to be grateful about. I would like to ask you what do you know and trust about yourself towards your intentional transformation? And what do you trust about the world around you to make that happen? And lastly, in regards to making a pact with yourself to experience what it is that you would like to experience joyfully and fulfilling wise in your life. The very last thing that wraps this all up in a bow is when you prove yourself in your life trustworthy, what will you do for your superpower to celebrate yourself? So like I said, for today and tomorrow, I hope you pick something nice and small that you can actually create a transformation in, Because when you can do the small things like this, it helps you to be in practice for the bigger things. Even this morning, I was laying in bed. I still had a few things I needed to take care of and get right for this particular event. And I went through a pact. I'm aware that I'm feeling anxious about, I made you all a playlist that's I get to give to you, and I'll explain that in a minute. I needed to go onto YouTube and learn how to create this playlist. And I needed to polish that up this morning. So I was aware that I was a little anxious about that. And I paused, and what I valued about it is that I want this, making a pact with yourself is something that you can take away and use every day in your life, from small things to decisions of what am I going to eat today? What am I going to wear today to feel in my power, to how do I want my children to celebrate, my birthday when I'm 80 years old? How do I want to travel? How do I want to experience life? This is a freebie. And the more people that are out there sharing their light, the better. That's my value. That's my passion. The actions were, I got my tail out of bed at 5:30 this morning, and I polished those up, and I have a link for you guys. And I'm excited to give it to you guys, where you can actually be in practice with some meditation and some other actions, where you get to bring in some more skills and practice and tools to do this with anything and everything that you would like to transform in your life. Being curious helps me to overcome my fear of technology. And then, boy, I sure trust myself. And as Marie in the beginning was talking about, we put out a prayer, and I did that. I put out a prayer. I have what it takes with my little hard copy stuff. I will work on being able to have something that can be screen shared at some point, but I don't know. I kind of like it this way. It feels a little more connected to you all. So I lay in bed sometimes and go tick, 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 tick. And I've come up with a solution from practicing this regularly. And then I do this when I'm feeling less than wonderful, because sometimes I still struggle at being the best mom I can be. Sometimes I'm working on a handstand. I'm working on back bends, and what it is, I work this with everything that's going on in my life, and it's a beautiful process. And I hope that you discover how simple and easy it can be to have something in your back pocket that you can turn to. So as a result of this little mini coaching, it would be fabulous to me. I don't know if we're going to do it tomorrow or later, but perhaps put in the chat your email, and I can send you the link to this 5-part pact process and the meditations I have on the YouTube playlist. I am reachable at Coach Thea Daniels on Instagram, Thea Daniels on Facebook, and thea@theadaniels.com. You can reach me there. And I loved what our first speaker did. If you do a post and you want to have a free 2-hour coaching session to take this particularly further, or if you have something you'd like to really dig your teeth into, free 2 hours if you want to do a post to something like that. And unless there are, well, I guess now is Q&A time, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my
Okay.
goodness, Thea, thank you. That was fantastic. I loved it. I loved it.
Thank you.
All right. So who has a question for Thea? Because we do have some time for Q&A after it. And if you can't think of anything today, sometimes that happens, you can't think of anything as soon as the speaker finishes, you can always ask your question tomorrow at the panel discussion, which is also going to be fabulous. But if you have questions, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask. You can put them in the chat also, and I'll see if I can see them here. Everybody's saying thank you, Thea, and they,
Popping up, yes.
yeah, and people are putting their email addresses in there. So anybody want to unmute themselves and ask Thea a question or, oh,
Yes.
yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Marie. I I don't know about, I guess I can just speak for myself, but I just want to say thank you, Thea. I love your enthusiasm, your energy, and you're just really good at expressing yourself. And for me, that's something that I would like to work on because I felt like I could follow along with the points and the keys, but I couldn't feel them because I struggle with expressing and knowing exactly what it is I feel and how to name my emotions. I could sit with other people and I can talk to them about how they feel, but when I'm doing exercises like this, I kind of freeze and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what the it is. What is my it? What is it? And then you're it's on to the next one. I didn't get my it. And then so like, how do you or what advice would you have for somebody like me who kind of struggles with like we understand emotions intellectually, but can't really embody and feel them and bring them out and name them and know how to help it guide us to our it, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a very bold question.
Okay.
And you have total permission to say no, but it's the first thing that came up. Would you like to do a quick go through of your it with me right now?
Sure.
Okay. What is your intentional transformation? What is it that you would like to experience?
I would like to experience like passion and zest for life and excitement and like real stuff that's inside, that comes from inside out.
Okay. And did you get a chance to write that down? At least enough to know for when we're done.
I put motivation down as my it, I guess. But then I didn't think that was
great.
it.
Might I suggest write down, I want to feel that passion for life.
Okay.
And I'll give you time. Look up to me when you're done. You are aware of your it. I heard that pretty clearly, and I saw Sue shaking her head too. So, yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay, fabulous. So remember the power of the pause. When you pause and slow down and get in touch with your values around feeling passion for your life at this stage of your life, what is it that you value about that? What's important to you about that? What's important about feeling that passion in your life? And by the way, I love leopard print too. Passion in that. So what is important to you about feeling passionate? Because you exude this beautiful smile. You were the first person I saw on the screen. This smile, this light in your eyes that shines through. I get a lot of passion from you. What is it that you are polishing out right now?
I guess how to connect or maybe connect with others with it.
I guess.
I'm reaching.
Yes. Breathe in. One of the things for me is I will dive too deep right past the obvious. Sometimes I just think something's much more deep than it is, and the obvious is right here. What bubbles up for you around your values of feeling like you're living in your passion? Take a couple of breaths. Give yourself a moment to answer this because you're being incredibly courageous.
I'm not sure. I kind of.
You're doing great. I can tell that you're digging in and taking a look. Passion for life. What is it that jumped up for you to say that instead of motivation? Because you wrote down motivation, but you mentioned to be passion for life. Something wants to be heard.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, that is okay. Actually, and do not feel put on the hot seat. But this is what's coming up for you. So the action I really encourage you to do is, when we're done here today, give yourself a little bit of time. Maybe do the breathing that Kesley did, or doing the 5 deep breaths that we talked about, and give yourself the opportunity to get in touch with what's the difference between motivation that you wrote down and feeling passionate about living. Maybe something else will come up for you, but give yourself the time. Be really curious about it. No judgments. Set aside, the negativity. Be curious about what comes up for you and trust that it will show up. And perhaps tomorrow you might have something. Maybe you won't, but you have a way to connect with me later on. But you might just be really surprised what may come up for you around this. Do you trust that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, good. Something's right there. I really feel something's right there for you, and it may just pop right on out. If it does before we're done, pop on in and let me know, okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Did anybody else have a question, or maybe want to try sharing your transformation if something happened?
This has been so wonderful, Thea.
Okay.
People are typically shy. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
I love that.
That's why I don't
that.
mind the pause. I don't mind the space for the possibility to show up. And I really love it. And Kai, am I pronouncing your name properly? Good. Okay. Yeah, I love it that you were so willing to share.
Yeah. Yes.
And I would like to continue on with that. Yet Tony has his hand up.
Oh,
So
Tony.
let's hear from Tony.
Okay, I put my hand up, and it's interesting, Kai, when you were speaking, that I was reflecting on my childhood, because I grew up around a lot of people who were dead. They just hadn't been buried yet, and so when you talk about passion for life, maybe that's just the contrary nature of me, but I wanted to be different than everybody else around me. Anyway, when you were talking about passion, motivation, motivation's what dead people say, Passion is what live people say. Just my thoughts.
Thanks, Tony. That's so good.
And Kai, I hear you received that well. You still got a smile on your face.
I did.
I wrote it down.
Did that
not buried yet? Thanks, Tony.
Did that make a lot of sense?
It did. It did.
That is so good.
Felt like it was the thing to say, and the other felt like it came from somewhere more real. So thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. And I wanted to thank Kai too. I just went to the skin doctor, a little thingy, no biggie. But I loved how you began, and I totally accept and identify with the whole process you're experiencing. Emotion too, for me, I can be very analytical, and I can tease it apart and realize that I still don't know how I feel. So I get that. But what you had said in the beginning to me spurred so much for my own, because I would parallel that whole question. And what you had said was to connect. And I thought, yes, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to take what my creativity that I am desiring to connect with others and develop something. It's like a brainstorm, recreate, So at any rate, you've helped me. I came in late, so I haven't seen all the steps, but just what you said helps kind of bridge my own initiation into this idea that Thea is so beautifully bringing up. So I don't know. Yeah.
Sue, thank you very much for saying that. And I have up here on the screen, I hope you can see it, is a pact, aware, pause, action, curiosity, and trust. And thank you for bringing up about connection, because I do remember too that you mentioned connection. And so definitely let that be up on the playing field of your curiosity and this transformation.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Okay.
I see messages here from people. Tiffany wrote, Tony, I don't know, Tony, if you saw this or not. She said, I grew up around a lot of people who were dead. They just hadn't been buried yet. This is a powerful first line for a book. Dang. I love that. And Jill wrote, thank you, Kea, for being so brave. And of course, Sue said the same thing. Does anyone else have any questions for Thea? You're welcome to unmute yourselves, and you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to. You're welcome to unmute yourself.
I
Go
have
ahead.
a question. I adore the fact that you bring in trust, and this is what has been brought up to me with various people, and I really work with. Do you have any tips or ideas how to remind oneself to keep trusting rather than to get that echo? So, I mean, first to become aware, I guess, when one's not being trustworthy not trusting, if you follow what I'm saying. In other words, because I can believe it's feeling it and trusting, I guess, embodying it and then letting go. But I think you need to practice that a bit, practicing the trust. Yes. So what would you suggest?
So my suggestion to you around practicing the trust is recognize where you feel trusting within yourself. For me, it's my whole torso between my heart and my gut area. I have a sense, and that's where I feel it. And then out in the world around, you weren't here earlier, but we rubbed your hands together at first to create energy. That energy is yours, and that energy is around you. So it's feeling and recognizing what's trustworthy around you, and then using that trust. So maybe it's trusting, oh, I just don't feel like going left is the way to go. For me, I go right until I recognize right wasn't the right way to go, and then I just turn around and go left. But I actually physically have done that in my life.
Yes.
Trust going right.
Yeah.
Oh, this wasn't the right way. Turn around and go the other way sooner than later.
Yeah.
And use trust. So it's the one of the biggest things that I mentioned earlier is remembering to use this process. And it's the same thing with trust. And trust is one of those things that will come up and bubble up within you, and it tingles at your choices. Do you trust this pathway that you're going? Does this feel right to me? And practicing, you can go, nope, doesn't feel right. Shut the door on it and see what happens. Do it on little things, or trust it and go in that direction. Does that help to answer? So you feel?
No, I follow Thea, and I appreciate it. And I have worked with this. I understand very clearly, but it's always good. And pardon, what I meant specifically was like in answer to this whole pact that you're making for a new dimension, such as finding the passion for a certain development in life at this moment. It's with that vow, with that whatever it is, which can be pretty big. It's not just because I understand introducing trust into your life is a constant affair, and it is. But I was thinking that you can sabotage. I guess, yeah, I think I've answered. Anyway, it's good. It's good. Thank you.
We can self-sabotage. And that's where I mentioned about curiosity. Set aside judgments, set aside being wrong. And what I encourage is if there is something that you are naturally good at. So say, for example, you naturally enjoy music and want to try learning the ukulele. Trust that. Try it. If you want to learn to fly.
So what you're saying, though, is because and I understand this. I was thinking about a specific goal, a certain thing that is like the big direction of it. And I think what it would be the repetition, the awareness every day of just trusting, just making an affirmation that you're trusting that this is happening. That's what I meant. Because I work on trust a lot in many things. I trusted that it'd be okay to come here late because I had that appointment.
So
Because I could have been fearful and not come, or even to speak up, So yeah, but thank you. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
all this.
And I believe there's a recording, so you can catch up from the first speaker on through where you caught in, and then you can always connect with me. I will make sure, I believe tomorrow I'll have up in the chat the connection through to the playlist, as well as Marie, will I have access to the emails today?
It won't be today.
Okay.
It won't be today. It'll be after the sessions tomorrow. It might even be a day or so after that.
Okay.
But at tomorrow, I also will be giving information again on how people can get in touch with you and get the gift that you so graciously offered to the people who are here. So you can always give them the information directly, because they'll be contacting you anyway.
Okay, terrific. And I will have it, since I'm not talking tomorrow, I'll make sure it gets into the chat, the playlist too.
Oh, that'll be absolutely wonderful. My goodness, Thea, that was fantastic.
Thanks, Marie. Thank you for the opportunity to speak and share with all of you.
I love it. And I hope that you're able to stick around today for the rest of the program.
I'm here for me too. I have picked up so many gems, even from the audience. So yes.
I love it. Thank you.
May I real quick just do a quick check-in? Kai, are we good for right now, or is there something you'd like to share?
Oh, I'm good for now. Thank you.
Okay, great. Okay, thanks, Marie.
Oh, you're welcome. Wow. What a journey. What a journey so far. And we still have another presentation today. And of course, that would be my presentation. So it's kind of interesting when you get to or have to introduce yourself. I'm not a Leo, so I do enjoy being on stage, but I don't necessarily enjoy introducing myself, but I will do it. And I'm going to now. We're going to be talking about, or going through actually, a mini past life regression session. So I hope you guys are prepared for that. But let me just go ahead and read what I wrote about myself, because it's so easy for me to just not toot my own horn, so to speak. So let's just go ahead and get going. Wonderful. Okay, I'm, of course, Marie O'Neill, the host of this retreat. So, like so many, actually all of the presenters today, I wear a few hats. I'm a life coach, an astrologer, an author, and a lecturer. And my deep passion, of course, lies in helping individuals unlock their incredible potential and step fully into their goals. As the founder of Padma Life Coaching here in Santa Rosa, California, I've been honored to work in personal development for over 20 years, guiding wonderful, enthusiastic individuals and groups on their unique journeys of self-discovery and growth. Today, I want to guide you on a journey within. And this is exploring past lives through guided regression. The question is, have you ever felt that uncanny connection to a place or time you've never known in this life? Or perhaps you've been curious about how echoes from the past might be influencing your present. This session is designed as an immersive yet gentle exploration into the fascinating realm of past life regressions. We are going to start, of course, with an introduction where we'll talk about some of the principles, we'll address some of the common questions, and hopefully dispel some of the myths around past life regression, because there's a lot of myths around this, and they're myths for a reason. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So make sure that you are in a comfortable position and allow yourself to relax and just embark on this journey. Just a little bit about past life regression from my perspective. I came to it many years ago. I had an astrologer who was also a past life regression facilitator. And I wanted to find out a connection that I felt I had with a particular person. And I asked for a past life regression session. I got the session. I didn't get what I was asking for. However, I got what I needed. The universe or a higher mind sometimes, it will play tricks on us. And it will use any method necessary to get us to do our work and to give us information that we need. The regressionist sent me through, I went through 3 prior lives, and each time I was given pertinent information that ultimately helped me to overcome my fears and increase my self-esteem and how I saw myself. I also got information on my mission in the world, because at the time I was brand new as far as being widowed. I, had gone through lots of trauma, and I was just beginning the journey of self-discovery. So my self-esteem was tanked. It was a -0. In any event, the universe used this session to get me information that I have actually reflected on over the years. And sometimes I go back and I think about the picture comes into my mind with one of the sessions, and it's like, oh my God, I really needed that, because it helped me to lift my confidence. As an example, there was a prior life when I was in England. I think it was England, but I was in a living room with my father, sitting on his lap, And we were just having a conversation. I don't know where my mother was. I must have been, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. And in the next scene, we're walking down the street, walking the dog. And I thought, because in the reason I thought that, is because in this particular incarnation that I'm in now, I never knew my father. So therefore, did I feel that I was loved by, a father figure? And I was shown that lifetime to know, yes, you have been loved, by your father in a prior life. There was a whole lot of information that I gained from just going through those that particular session. With past life regression, it's not something that you have to have a regressionist take you through. You can do it on your own. And what you're doing is accessing a memory. You're accessing something from the Akashic records, if you're familiar with that. There is a place that is not in the physical realm where everything that we've ever done is stored. It's stored, everything we've done, everything we've thought, all the people that we've encountered, all of the experiences we've had. It's all stored. Think about when you have a memory now. That's not in your brain. That's coming from the Akashic records. You're pulling on the memory bank from that. I call it AI, the original AI, the Akashic records. And anyway, so that's where you're going to get this information. It's used to help you learn more about you. And so when you do a regression session, you go in, of course, with a question or an intention, but you don't know what you're going to actually receive. You have to know that whatever it is you receive, it is what you need to receive at that time. Sometimes you might not even understand what it is you've gotten, and that's okay too, because the the truth of what you've experienced sometimes is divulged later on. Maybe you have an aha moment a month later, even, or sometimes even years later. Something will happen and your mind flashes back to the session you had and you understand it. You understand the meaning of the session. They are not trivial. They're not supposed to be trivial because when I say trivial, they're not used to play or to experiment because this is real. You're really going to get information. Your muse, your spirit guides, your angels on the other side. If you open the door to let them help you, they're going to. And so anyway, that was my experience initially with past life regression. I went on to become certified as a past life regression facilitator. I started out with a company called The Journey, went down to, which was done through Brandon Bay down in Australia. And then I also participated in the first level certification with, oh goodness, Dolores Cannon. And over time, I developed my own process that I use when I'm doing a session with people. I want to go through my notes here to make sure that I'm giving you all the information that you need for this session. So here, let's see. How might it work? I wrote down questions here. So this is about your subconscious. So you want to think of your mind as a vast, incredible library or database, as I said, like AI, and it holds everything. It holds all of your experiences, all of your emotions, your beliefs, everything is held there. And regression is a technique that gently bypasses the critical analytical conscious mind. That is, if you allow it, because you do have to relax and you're going to give your conscious mind a job so that you can bypass it there. So another concept or idea is the continuity of consciousness. Now, my belief is that consciousness can never die. It just keeps going from lifetime to lifetime. And even in between lives, consciousness is continuing to go on. So all of these experiences through different lives, you can access through past life regression. And sometimes, of course, you have these strong emotions or you have significant event. There's vows that you've made. It's amazing what vows we make in prior lives. And then, for example, the vow of poverty. Some people make a vow of poverty in a prior life, and then they come into this life and they're impoverished and aren't able to get out of it and don't know why. It's always a good idea to ask the question, where did this come from? Which comes to another point that I want to make sure that you're aware of. With past life regression, as I said, you really don't have to have somebody else take you through this. You can have a question. For example, as I said, if you're having an issue such as, why can't I get myself out of poverty? Ask the question, where does this originate? That's all you really need to ask. But you need to ask it to your higher mind, to whomever you pray to, or even your inner self. You ask that simple question. Get quiet and listen. Sometimes you will get an answer with a picture that flashes or a movie, or you'll get an impression on the mind. Sometimes you'll get the answer through somebody else, but you have to be paying attention to being in the present moment. You have to stay in the present moment and you have to be paying attention to what is going on around you. Because once you ask the question, you're going to get the answer. Now, it's up to you to see the answer. What I tend to do, because I'm a lovely Gemini who is just, I'm all over the place sometimes. I'm going here and there, and sometimes I'm not paying attention. So here's what I do. I ask the question, and then I say, please give me this answer to the question and make sure that I see it and that I know that it is the answer, which means you might have to send me the answer in a few different ways. I just put that, it's called a disclaimer. It's Marie's disclaimer. And it always happens. Sometimes you'll get the answer in a dream, because dreams are another way of taking you on a journey to a prior life. But so anyway, why do you want to explore? Because, you want to have help in understanding the roots of reoccurring patterns. So, and if you can get to the root of a pattern, you can always work with it and heal it. And that's why you want to do it. Or at least that's one of the reasons that you want to do it. It can sometimes also offer clues to unexplained physical sensations or emotional baggage that you carry. On the flip side of that, it can help you connect with your strengths, with your hidden talents. It can help you figure out what it is you need for yourself or what it is you want for yourself. If you're saying that you're having a problem feeling, there's a reason for that. You can ask the question, where does this originate? How do I turn this back on? My feeling nature back on? What am I avoiding? What do I need to do um, to, what do I need to do to feel again? These are just some of the prompts that you can ask. So now I want to address some of the common questions that people have. The first question is it real? And there is no, of course, historical proof that it's real. However, I believe it's real because I've seen some of my prior lives. And you've also, I'm sure some of you have heard stories of children coming in who, they remember their prior lives. I believe it works. It has helped. It has helped me tremendously. And your subconscious mind, it communicates in unique ways, of course. And so sometimes it's literal, sometimes it's symbolic. And so you have to trust the insights that it's off that that it offers. Because sometimes, like I said, you'll see a movie in front of you and it'll just play through. Sometimes you'll just get a sense or knowing, and that's okay too. Is it safe? Yes, it is safe. It's a gentle, guided relaxation. You are always in control. I'm not in control. You are in control of your process. It's, you are not unconscious. So you can choose to bring yourself back to full awareness at any moment. All you really need to do that is open your eyes if you get uncomfortable. What I like to do when I'm doing a regression is, especially with people who are fearful, is I ask them to put themselves in the observer role when they're doing this session, meaning they are observing themselves doing something in the regression session. So you see yourself in a prior life. You're not actually in the physical body of that particular lifetime. That's the best way. That's the best way to deal with that. What if I don't see anything? And of course, that's okay because a lot of people don't see anything. As I said, people get a knowing or a feeling. And so experiences vary widely. Some people see vivid images like movies, as I said. Others experience physical sensations or a sense of knowing. Just some people also just hear words or sounds, and that's okay too. Will it be scary or traumatic? We set a clear intention at the very beginning of any session that I do. We set an intention for gentle insight and understanding that is relevant to your growth. And the guidance that I give is to lead you towards meaningful, helpful experiences that are not overwhelming. So trust that your deeper self genuinely brings forward what it is you are ready to understand. It will not, your higher mind, that inner part of you, does not give you any information that you're not ready for. So it is totally fine. So before we get started with the session, I want to ask you if you have any questions. Are there any questions before we get started? Nobody's raising their hand. Okay. Oh, I guess I missed. Oh, yeah, Brian Weiss. Many, yes, yes, many masters. Love that. All right. We're going to prepare to move into the guided journey itself. And so this, of course, is your time to go inward. And I'm inviting you to get in a very comfortable position. And it's best a lot of times if you're sitting straight up or sitting upright. And the reason that it's good to do that is sometimes when you're relaxing, it's you go to sleep and you know you're sleeping because you can hear yourself snoring. So so you don't want to do that. So you definitely want to um, you want to be comfortable, but you want to be alert. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Okay. Now, at the beginning of the retreat today, we set an intention for the retreat. What we're going to do now is set an intention for the session. And let me just tell you what we're going to do, and then we'll actually do it so that you know you can follow along. We're going to set intention for the session. We're going to do a little bit of breathing. We're going to, of course, ask for guidance and protection. You're going to call on Archangel Michael or whomever you pray to for protection and guidance. You're going to, of course, talk about what it is. You're going to silently to yourself say what it is you want to get out of this. There's going to be stairs in this meditation. You're going to go down 10 stairs. At the bottom of the stairs, and at the top of the stairs, you're wide awake. As you go down the stairs, you're getting more and more relaxed. When you get to the foot of the stairs, you're going to look and there will be a thermometer at the foot of the stairs. You're going to gauge on the numbers on the thermometer, and the numbers are between 1 and 10. You're going to ask yourself, or I'm going to ask you where you are. Where is that thermometer? The number, what number do you see on that thermometer as far as your level of being relaxed? If you're fully relaxed, totally relaxed, you might be down at a 2 or 3. If you're not relaxed, you're at a 10 or an 8 or 9, and that's okay. Because as I will be guiding you through saying you are in control, you can lower or raise the number on that thermometer at your discretion. There's also going to be a door. You're going to open the door and go through that door. And on the other side of that door is a guide, a spirit guide. And you're going to go on a journey with that spirit guide and have a conversation with that guide. And that guide will give you information. You may, as I said, you may not see the guide. You may just get a feeling that they're there. You may get a knowing that they're there, and that is okay. As I said, some people see pictures, some people don't. And once you work with the guide, you will, and you're done, I'll bring you back through the doorway that you went through and back up the stairs. Now, this session it'll probably be about 15 minutes, maybe not much longer. If you find that you're moving faster than I am speaking, that's okay. It's okay to be ahead of me. I've just given you the steps so that you can go through those steps on your own. If you come back up those stairs and everybody else is still down, just sit quietly and be okay with that. If you're somebody who needs a little bit more time, then take your time. You don't have to come back just because I said come back. Take your time coming back through that door. Get the information that you need. Once we finish with the session, we'll sit here for a few minutes in an event, and you can come back at your leisure. Perfect. Now that we've done the instructions, can you tell I'm a good Virgo ascendant? Or maybe I'm not. But anyway, the first thing we're going to do is relax. What I'd like you to do is take 3 deep breaths in and let them out. So breathe with me here. Breathe in and let it out. And each time you breathe in, you're relaxing a little bit more. Take another deep breath in and let it out. One more time. Deep breath in and let it out. Good. Now, you want to bring yourself into your body. Feel your toes. Just feel your toes. Wiggle them a little bit and let them relax. Feel the balls of your feet and let the balls of your feet relax. Feel the energy in your feet anchoring itself into Mother Gaia. Feel the energy of your feet going all the way down. Feel a cord, a little invisible gold cord or white cord from the balls of your feet going down into the earth, going down into the molten rock, down, down, down into the molten rock and anchoring there and coming back up. It's anchored and it's circling around a big stone, a big boulder, and that anchor is coming back up. That cord is coming back up through your feet, up through your calves. And as it does, you're relaxing more and more. Feel it coming up your legs, up your thighs, into the center part of your body. Feel the warmth too. Feel the envelopment. Feel every part of your body relaxing. Your stomach, your chest, your back. Feel your shoulders relax more. Going deeper and deeper. Feel your throat and your mouth relax. Feel your cheeks and your nose. Feel your nose relax. And your eyes, and the eye sockets, and your forehead. Feel the top of your head relax completely. Now, as you are relaxed, you want to gently close your eyes if you haven't already, close your eyes and listen to the sound of my voice. Say a prayer to whomever you pray to and ask the being to be with you and to guide you and protect you on this journey. And ask for what it is you want from this session. I'll give you a minute to go ahead and do that. It can be whomever you pray to. It can be a guide that you know of, an angel or archangel or an ascended master. Know that they are there with you when you call, and they are helping you. You can call to Archangel Michael or Archangel Gabriel or Ariel. Ask for what it is you want to receive in this session and ask for their guidance and protection. Good. Now, as you're sitting quietly, feel the expansiveness going out in front of you from your body. Just feel yourself expanding endlessly in front of you. And then feel yourself behind you expanding endlessly. So in front of you and behind you, you're just expanding. And then the sides of you, the left side and the right side, feel that energy going out and out, out endlessly. It's encompassing the universe. And the rootedness that you felt or feel underneath you, feel that. Feel your rootedness going down into Mother Gaia and feeling her warmth and her love and her compassion, feeling that nurturing energy. Now, the top of your head, feel the expansiveness going from the top of your crown chakra upward, upward into the sky, into the endless sky. You're fully connected to all of consciousness. Now that you have your intention set and you've called your guide, if there is anything else that you would like to experience on this journey or any questions you have for your guides, go ahead and ask them now as you stand at the top of the stairs. You're standing at the top of stairs. There's 10 stairs going down, and you're standing at the top, getting ready to descend. So ask any question that you might have. Good. As you descend the stairs, you're going to be becoming more and more relaxed with every stair that you take. You're at the top of the stairs to step 10. I want you to step on step number 9, feeling relaxed. Now, step 8, you're just a little bit more relaxed. Moving down the stairs, step 7, 6, 5, more, more, more relaxed. Step 5, 4, 3. You are extremely relaxed. 2. And as you get ready to step onto step 1, you're going to look out in front of you and you see a thermometer. That thermometer has 10 numbers ranging from 1 to 10. 10 is full, wide awake, and 1 is deeply relaxed. When you look at the thermometer, where are you on the thermometer? Wherever you are, raise the thermometer by a half a degree. Good. Now, lower the thermometer by a degree. Fantastic. This tells you who is in control. You are in control. This is your journey. Now step onto step 1. You're relaxing even more. In front of you, there is also a door. And behind that door is a blazing light. It is your light. In addition to being behind that, in addition to the blazing light that is you, your guide is there. It can be an ascended master, an angel or archangel. It could even be an animal. What you want to do is when you're ready, step off of step 1, go to the door, open the door, and meet your guide. Just when you're ready. Meet your guide, say hello, and if you can, feel the guide's love for you. And just start to walk around and explore the surroundings that are there with your guide and start to have a conversation. Maybe you see you're in a flower patch, or maybe you're at the ocean, maybe you're at the woods, but you are in an area that you need to be in for this information that your guide has for you. I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes and just let you explore and have that conversation. Remember, you can ask your guide anything. It is private between you and your guide. So go ahead and have a conversation with your guide. And if for some reason you find yourself getting stuck with what to say, ask your guide what your guide wishes you to know at this time. You're doing a beautiful job. Be sure to ask your guide for his or her blessings. When you are done or when you are ready, make sure that you thank your guide for going on this journey with you. And start, when you're ready, going back towards the door. But get the information that you need right now and know that you can go on this journey at any time. Okay. Now, work your way to the doorway that you came through. With your guide there, ask your guide if there is any imparting information that your guide would like to give you. Maybe it's pertaining to a subject that you hadn't thought of. In addition to that, ask your guide to help you to feel the love of the divine, to show you through feeling love what it actually is, or give you the feeling of that as a parting gift. And soak it in. Know that you are loved. And then when you are ready, go through the door that you went through, thanking your guide once again, and knowing that you can go on this journey anytime you'd like. All you need to do is call out to your guide. You're going to pass the thermometer and go to the stairs that you came down earlier. And you're going to step onto step 1. And as you go up the stairs, you'll come back into full waking consciousness. 1, 2, 3. Coming back. 4, 5, 6. Feeling a little bit more energized and vibrant. 7, 8. Feeling yourself in your body. 9, 10. You're back. Fully alive, fully vibrant, fully awake. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, open your eyes and move around a little bit. I'm going to I'm going to open it up a little bit. Does anyone have any comments or that they want to share about their experience? You don't have to if you don't want to. That was a gentle, good. Jennifer, you raised your hand?
Yeah, I think that was so beautiful. Thank you. And I loved your voice. And I thought it was really cool how right at 9 and 10, my eyes just naturally opened.
That is amazing, isn't
Thank
it?
you.
Oh, you are welcome. Anyone else? Yes, Thea, did you have a?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that my guide was a just the hint of Mr. Clean. That shiny brightness, and so that was kind of funny that the guide in this, I didn't know what to expect, and so it could be anything, any entity, and it was a smiling face of Mr. Clean, and I actually got a nice little affirmation to get to take and practice making a pact with myself around moving forward. So that was lovely. Well done. And I got something from it.
Perfect. Wonderful. Lisa wrote, yeah, thank you, Marie. I look forward to doing that again. And you can. You really can do it you can do it on your own. You can even record yourself of guiding yourself through it if you choose to. Perfect. Oh, we watched the recording. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Nathan.
All right, Sue.
Yeah, you truly have a gift, and I appreciated. I mean, this is one of the best that I've experienced. And what I appreciated, many factors, the safety that you brought into it, but the door with the light that was our own. I thought this is like, oh, that's welcoming. That was very beautiful. And the fact too to go back afterwards, because I a good experience of trusting that whatever I did receive was enough for now, enough as a clue, and yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anyone else? Kai or Tony or
For me, for some reason, the Prince of Egypt came to me as I was listening to your voice. I felt like that area, like that time period. And I imagined like the stone stairs, and I don't know. I just felt like, oh, this Prince of Egypt.
I wonder which one though, because
I don't know. That's the thing. It wasn't clear, but it was very. It makes me wonder, and I'm just curious to see how much further.
Yeah, because you can go back, and you can ask that being to come to you. Just set it up the same way and ask that being to come to you and talk to you more, because that could be one of your spirit guides.
I was surprised. I thought it'd be like medieval, horses and stuff, because I love that time period. And
I love it.
Nice. Thank you.
Oh, you are welcome. You are welcome. Perfect. Tony, did you have anything you wanted to add or he's just coming back? Okay. All right. Wow.
Is this your music?
Nothing to add, Marie.
Nothing to add. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's music on this end telling me.
I thought it was somebody else.
No. It's on my end because it's telling me Our
I love
time
this.
today is almost up. My goodness,
Okay.
how time goes fast.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Well, there is, as a comment about from what Kai was saying about the timing, that is an interesting period because I was in this. Yeah, it's a good thing to let go of control about what time you think it is in and to ask more later because that's more clues.
Yeah, you always want to ask more later. So
Yeah.
thank you for journeying inward with me. And I really hope that sparked curiosity and perhaps offered a new perspective. So you can feel free to ask any questions that you might have. I'm going to be here for a few minutes after the event ends today too, but as we gently bring our first day together to a close, I do want to express my deep gratitude for each of you being here today because this is no accident that you're here. Your presence is appreciated. Your openness, your willingness to explore, all of this is extremely important. It's important to me and it's important to the other presenters and the other participants too. Thank you again to the incredible presenters today, Kesley and Thea, for sharing their wisdom and their light with us. Take a moment now. We're going to take a little bit of time just to breathe and integrate the energies and insights from today. This was a wonderful tapestry that we've begun to weave already today. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to gather again at 1 p.m. Pacific time for day 2. We're going to start with intention setting. We'll have presentations from Tiffany Harlick on intuition. We have another presenter who will also be here tomorrow, Mia Lux. She will be doing a talk on lucid dreaming, followed by a dynamic panel discussion from our speakers. So to close the circle today, take one collective grounding breath together. So let's inhale deeply and exhale slowly. We want to carry this gentle energy of today into the evening. Rest well, nourish yourselves, and eagerly look forward to connecting again with us tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful, blessed evening.
Thank you, Marie.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.